Welcome to the Trackhouse Motorplex. This is a little go-karting track out in near Charlotte, North Carolina. Took a friend here for his birthday, old John Hamlin, and my buddy CJ as well. We were joined on track with a few other dudes. Get a chance to do karts for the first time. The first time getting on it was a little wild. This kart had pretty wobbly steering. A little bit of play before it actually started doing anything, so it took me a while to get used to that. And in this corner you can see I was not used to it, but it was a blast nonetheless. The brakes were a little touchy too. Not sure if tires will actually warm up during these races. Pretty sure these are hard compound tires on the rental karts, but it felt like the first few laps the tires were stone cold. Starting this next race, the races are about 10 minutes long. You get to go out on track and just get the fastest lap you possibly can. All three of us were within a second of each other. I think my fastest time was like a 66.3 or something like that. And yeah, it was on the first race I actually got my fastest time, which was interesting. Trying different lines, you could definitely like feel getting faster on different parts of the track, but I think it was all down to like getting a better kart for racing. Racing against each other didn't really matter, but it was fun to pass people nonetheless. CJ here is racing pretty aggressively, and another guy up front spun out. I was able to get a little speed on him before this next corner, but he entered a little wider than I did, so had a little bit better exit speed. Came into this next one, and I got pushed a little wide by him there, and then into the final few corners. His karts seem to be a little bit faster than mine, so once we get through this corner here, I take it hot and go over the rumble strips, but he'll come up on the right side of me, and I didn't know this at the time, but John is on the inside of him, chopping up underneath both of us. And then I tried to take the next corner, ended up getting pushed by CJ wide, and then John hit the mud on the inside of the track there and got spun around by CJ right after. They were giving us a little bit of slack on the course, not telling us to calm down. Thankfully, and thankfully John didn't wreck anything too bad on that. Some other corners down here, particularly there's this like left turn and then a tight left here. If you were too hard on the brakes, it was pretty easy to mess that one up. It seemed like all the karters that had their own karts were taking that really wide on the exit and entering pretty early, but I couldn't quite figure out a line on the rental kart. It's weird racing other people. Some spots I would have plenty of pace on them, and then other spots not so much. I bumped that guy a little wide there on accident. I was trying to say sorry, but it might not have looked that way. And then was able to take him into the next corner here. That first corner you could take full throttle, but I think it was a little faster to hit the brakes into it. Not that we're splitting hairs at all on these. Another lap here, CJ actually spun out a little bit, and I was able to catch up to him into the flag lap, which was pretty fun. But yeah, these karts were super fun. There's actually a video game, like pro karting, and they have this course on there, and afterwards we just hung around and played that video game, which is a little bit cheaper than going to the actual track, but very realistic. These karts get up to, yeah, 50 miles an hour in that straight, probably the fastest straight. It's a downhill into this wide sweeping turn. I usually like to take the inside of that one, and then right after it you had a little chicane. Coming into, yeah, the last few corners, it was pretty good, pretty fast, and then yeah, they just wave you off of the course. We did get to do 3 different races in this, and the first one, this one here, is actually the fastest one I did. Had a kart that felt really good, steering was nice, but I made a lot of errors hitting a ton of curbs like that, and plenty of people were sliding out all over the place too. I got a little loose in that one, and was hooting and hollering the whole time. CJ spun one of the other guys out, which there was no beef luckily, but he always races pretty aggressively. We got to this point, and Hamlin and I are dicing it up through some turns. He liked to take the wide line on that, and I usually like to take the inside line. Every once in a while, oh, I hit that curb there, and that was pretty painful. I'm still feeling that in my back. I tried to chop underneath him the next one and push him real wide. Both looked at each other, just shaking our heads. And then soon after that, into the last corner, I was a little too hot onto the brakes and would lose them. I think right after that, I had my fastest lap, though. Just the panic of crashing. Another one of those guys celebrated a little early because he might have had the fastest time, but we weren't racing in that way. Anyway, it was a good time out at the motor complex, and we'll probably be back eventually. Thanks for watching.